If your company's commercial landlord goes into bankruptcy, will your corporate real estate leases keep your company from getting booted? That's a real question. Hi, I'm Andrew Zazas, and this is To the Point. I have the pleasure of serving as publisher of CFO Intelligence magazine and chief strategist and CEO at Real Estate Strategies Corporation. In doing so, I get to advise CFOs across North America on numerous business, real estate, and career topics, and I really enjoy doing that. Stick around. At the end of today's episode, I'll have a couple of special offers for you. A $2.5 trillion commercial real estate crisis is building, and your ironclad real estate lease agreement might be worthless if the bomb detonates at one of your buildings. Office vacancy rates in many markets are stuck in double-digit territory, and Fed policies mean many landlords have no choice but to refinance their forever loans at higher interest rates. Meanwhile, some properties are heading toward foreclosure because those higher interest rates just don't pencil out. Irrespective of the existence of a written, supposed ironclad real estate lease, if a building that your company occupies changes hands through a bankruptcy or a deed in lieu of foreclosure or some other forced action, your company could be forced out. Lease term be damned. Yeah, that's true. That's exactly what I said. If your lease can have many years on it, but if that kind of transaction happens at your building, your lease may be terminated. That's right. If the landlord at one of your properties defaults or goes bankrupt and the lender takes back the property, or a similar action happens by virtue of non-payment of property taxes and the government steps in, your company's lease may be terminable on notice. And there are a multitude of reasons why, even though your company pays rent on time and may be considered a desirable tenant, why a lender or taxing authority or a trustee would move to terminate your lease. The protection you need is a non-disturbance agreement. Without one, the lender or the taxing authority or even a new landlord can terminate your lease regardless of how many years remain or how perfectly you've paid rent, even if you're in good financial standing. Why? Why would they do that? I know this is perplexing, but the facts are that whoever ends up with the building might want higher paying tenants. They may want a different tenant mix. They may want your company to pay higher rents, change its lease terms, or otherwise. A new landlord might want your company out completely because the property could have a higher value via some alternative use. They may want to bulldoze your property and convert it to something else completely. Now, regarding landlord foreclosure and occupancy protection, many middle market companies are flying blind. Okay? When real estate experts poll executives about non-disturbance agreements in their leases, the room frequently goes silent. Deers in the headlights. Many real estate executives, let alone CFOs, are unaware of the risks that their company's facility leases hold. The landlord refinancing cliff and the corresponding tenant occupancy cliff, that bomb that I mentioned, is quickly approaching. Without non-disturbance agreements, a lender can terminate your lease. The landlord only conveys rights to occupancy to the tenant so long as the landlord has those rights. Once the landlord has been removed, once the landlord forgoes those rights through bankruptcy or some other action, whether by choice or by force, any rights that landlord has conveyed to tenants can be terminated unless the lender has agreed to a non-disturbance agreement. Now, that's not true with taxing authorities, and there's no way around that. But it is true with lenders, and non-disturbance agreements are not automatic. So what should you do? First of all, you should review the leases in your company's portfolio right now. If they lack non-disturbance agreements, and I'm going to bet that many of them do, then you should seek to modify those leases now and secure non-disturbance agreements immediately. Or just cross your fingers and hold on tight. Your company's facility leases only offer protection if they're designed to survive a landlord bankruptcy blast. If you have a different perspective or you wish to share some ideas on today's topic, or if you'd like to know more, contact me at andrew.zizas@cfointel with two L's.com. At the beginning of this episode, I mentioned that I'd tell you about two offers. I'm actually going to offer you three. First, we get very excited when experienced and innovative CFOs share their insights with us. So if you'd like to join me in an on-camera discussion, visit cfoiq.com and drop me a line. If you the second offer is if you prefer to share your perspectives in print, perhaps we can publish a story on your ideas and promote your company and you at the same time in CFO Intelligence magazine. If you'd like to explore that, visit cfointel.com, go to the publications page, and get in touch with me. Now, both CFO IQ on-camera discussions and CFO Intelligence magazine stories are available at no cost to you or your company, if you're a CFO. Third, in keeping with today's discussion, if you'd like to understand in a 15-minute conversation the true risks that your real estate portfolio may have, or if you'd like to understand how your company can mitigate those risks and in the process secure additional free rent, annual rent reduction, no cost renovation allowances, expansion, contraction, early termination rights, and generally more favorable terms in the facilitated leases that your company occupies anywhere in North America, even if those leases are midterm and won't expire for years, visit realstrat.com and drop me a line. Now, for any of the above, you can simply reach me directly at andrew.zizas, Z-E-Z-A-S, at realstrat.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Andrew Zizas, and this has been To The Point.